Podcast, where truth's unveiled, exploring the depths beyond what is retail. Conspiracies, esoteric knowledge so enthralling. Open up your mind, let's dive into the sprawling. Oh yeah. Greypilled, awaken, question what you know. Peeling back the layers, let your curiosity grow. Uncover hidden realities, break the mold. Come take the journey, let your mind unfold.
And welcome to the Greypilledpodcast, everybody. It's Friday night, and we lost Isaac again.
Oh, no.
I'm Jules. You know me.
I'm Olivia.
There he is. This is my wife, Olivia, everybody.
This is social media.
Her first live stream.
Let's go.
I'm here with my boy Chef from the cave. What's going on, brother? And we're joined by our friend Isaac from OREGON-ITE.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so sorry about all this stuff.
Dude, it's okay, man. This stuff happens. You know,
I mean, I've never done a live stream before, so I'm just going to pretend like we're not on a live stream and see how that works for me.
Well, there's going to be people watching probably.
Right, but I'll do better if I pretend like we're not on a live stream because, you know.
Do whatever you want to do better.
It makes it easier. Yeah, I tend to do the same.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
Welcome to the Greypilled-Podcast, everybody. Hope everybody had a good week. It's time to kick back and enjoy the weekend. I'm on vacation next week, actually. So I got like a 9-day weekend. So,
hey, you deserve it, man. I know you work hard, man. I know we've talked before. I know you work hard, and you definitely deserve that. But if I can just interject real quick, I want to thank you for having me on. You're my boy, dude. Like, I already know I just get this weird fucking, maybe it's my spidey senses, but I just know solid people when I meet them. And both Jules, Olivia, and Isaac as well. Like, you guys are good people, man. So you guys are stuck with me. You're stuck with me. So
so it's crazy how that happens.
Feelings are reciprocated.
In fact, it's interesting that you bring that up because I work at a barbershop and it's really bizarre lately. I've noticed this pattern. We have people just randomly call and make an appointment that have never been to the shop before. They just end up on like whoever's book, right? Just random person in my chair. The barbershop I work at is like a little higher end. Like I was telling you earlier, it's the Mississippi Man is what it's called.
Cherie
like a men's
wanted to
barbershop.
tell you something.
Hi, Cherie. How are you? Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're beautiful. That's awesome. Very sweet of you. Thank you. So I work at a barbershop that's just like men's cuts, but I do hair and makeup for weddings because I've done that for a long time. But I started to feel like the beauty industry was very shallow and very I'm just on a different path. So I'm not really intrigued by that anymore.
Hey, Isaac. Can you see the comment that's pulled up right now, or do you need me to read it to you? Yeah,
could you read it to me?
Cherie's asking, is this the same? It has to be in parentheses.
Yes.
Yes. That was on Interverse with Chance and Slick Dissident.
Yeah, it was. That was a great show, actually. We had a blast.
What I was saying is that it's weird how I noticed this pattern, how I'll just end up with random people in my chair that I vibe with in this certain way. One way in which I feel like they're probably on the spectrum, and I'm pretty sure I am, and I know he is. And then like other people that I work with will end up with like someone randomly calls the shop, and it's just everyone like, hey, I've never been there before. Does anyone have like an appointment available? But it'll be somebody that like starts talking about all this shit that they totally vibe with. I end up with a lot of the random people that have moved to Mississippi from some other state, from New York, from California, whatever. So many of them just happen to end up in my chair. And part of it is because I'm one of the like newer barbers, but it's weird the way our vibe really does like the lame saying, like our vibe attracts our tribe. Like
it's like a shared
everything's so spiritual.
Yeah.
And I just think that we don't realize the extent of which we radiate the energy that is within us and the way that that attracts people with that same energy.
That makes sense.
I'll stop.
No, it does. Definitely. No, it definitely makes sense.
I've just noticed this pattern.
It's definitely, yeah, it's definitely wild.
Isaac, again.
Yeah, they definitely
Hang in there,
they don't
everybody.
like him. They don't like him. That's for
He'll
sure.
be back. There he is. He's back. Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm sorry. Man, it's like every solid minute or two, it'll just cut out. So
It's okay, dude. It happens. So, dude, I wanted to kind of go over your product with you. I had recently ordered a Giza.
Oh, I used this the other day.
Okay, so she didn't know this
Oh,
was
this
from
is
you, I
great.
guess.
I'm so glad that you're on here right now. You can tell me all about it because I'm very much like a sensitive naturally. My legs were super achy. I had been sick and I was like just putting it on my legs and I was laying in bed. Or I would just like keep it on my head. I was feeling something. What was weird is that whenever I would remove it, I still felt the energy from it, but it was not a placebo effect. Like,
You told me about that. Let me share Isaac's website. OREGON-ITE.com, guys. If y'all want to go there yourselves.
yeah, I've got, I'm able to get video up for a second. That is my right there. The first one, that is our hexagonal pyramid, or my hexagonal pyramid. It's basically a one-man show. My wife is absolutely amazing, and she helps me out with a lot of it. And my daughter, she'll help too, and she'll show off the photos. And it's actually funny. She looks at every single one of the pieces I make. I'll show them to her, and she says, "Cool." And it was one of the first words that she had, and she absolutely loves it. So it's all life loves this energy, and it's not from a sense of I'm trying to say like I'm like this piece is so incredible, like I made this, look at this thing I made. Like the real thing is the technology of orgone energy and orgonite is something that's existed long before me. And what you do is you take these layers of organic and inorganic elements and materials, and you can you layer them in a specific way. And the way that I make my orgonite is I just pack it full of copper and steel and a bunch of other different metals.
Man.
Yeah, so it's all basically the same mixture. Sometimes there's different ratios, and I kind of just let what's meant to be put in the pieces get put in the pieces. And so I'm kind of like hands off in flow state while I'm making everything. It's like honestly, I'm very energetically dense, and I can't feel anything really from my pieces, like actually feel it. And people will open up my devices, or they'll open up their package and they'll say, "I felt the energy right out of the box." And I'm like, that's so cool for you. I don't know what that feels like. But what's in these pieces is your piece is going to have a monoatomic gold is going to be it's a mixture. It's a little powdery substance. If I was on video, I'd be able to show you, but it's this liquid that you can put in that is an electrical superconductor. So there's also epoxy that's making up the whole piece, but I'll have different stones. So like the one that you're looking at right now, that's the piece for Brandon Thomas, actually, from Expanding Reality. And there's a citrine, it's been a while, but I know that there's a bunch of other stones in there that are, I try and help, different stones will attract different vibrational energies. So I'm able to fine tune my pieces with that. And then different types of metals. So you'll see in there's two different types of steel. I have small black steel that is really good for just attracting large amounts of energy. And then I have some curly lighter steel pieces that add more of a structure and a flow to it. And then all that small orange stuff is just the copper, and copper's it holds a lot of essence of life force energy, and we don't necessarily understand how electricity works the way it really works. And we're really just kind of activating different energies in certain devices. So like there's a reason why copper is run throughout every single building with electricity, because it is a divine conductor of life force that was made by your creator in the ground, and we utilize it for specific things. But all of these different things are going to be combined together, and you have the clear quartz at the tip of all of my pyramids. Every single pyramid I make has a clear quartz at the tip of it, and there's multiple reasons for that. The first reason is that pyramids in general have a vortex of energy starting at the base, traveling up to the tip, and 80% of the energy of the entire pyramid is right at the tip, probably the top inch of it. It depends on the piece. It'll be smaller or bigger depending on how large your pyramid
the tip
is.
of the pyramid is where you can actually like absorb the energy from it, essentially.
It's where the energy is going to be transmitted from. So essentially the orgonite is acting as a converter of energy. So dead stagnant energy in the body or in other energetic fields around it are going to be constantly transmuted in the field. So what it does is actually it takes, imagine a constant stream starting at the base and going up to the tip, and everything in that toroidal field is going to be sucked into the base. It's going to be transmuted and put back out at the top of the pyramid. It's going to be absorbed back into the life force of everything around it. And so I've actually been doing a lot of thinking about how orgonite actually works and how orgone energy actually works. And I think that a lot of it has to do with the expansion and contraction of, you can call it atomic particles, but I think it's all based off of frequency. So what I think happens is if you ever look at like, if you have like a pot of water on the stove and you heat it up and it goes to boil, what actually is happening is you're having every single molecule of that with the heat, the molecules are expanding. And as things start to get colder, the molecules will begin to contract and they'll get smaller. And so when you have a orgone device, like Wilhelm Reich invented the orgone accumulator back in the 50s or the 40s, and he noticed there was a temperature difference, a visible temperature difference inside of the boxes, and it was like a couple degrees. And some would say that it's like, oh, it's an insulated box. Of course, it's going to be a little bit hotter. But if you have it in a completely temperature controlled room and you're able to do constant tests on that, there's definitely a variable there. So what I think is happening, and this is a theory, but what I think is happening is that the orgone energy is causing the molecules to expand and the atomic particles inside of the field to expand, and in that expansion is essentially a detoxification process of the dark energy inside of you. You can call this dark energy trauma that you've built up, or different types of issues, or whatever you want to say, but that's going to be constantly turned in, and so it's essentially expanding it, making every single molecule vibrate at a certain frequency due to the natural vibration of that. It's like a frequency soup. So any frequency that you're in the vicinity of, you're going to take on its energy. So that can be something negative, that can be a cell phone tower, that can be just a person who's having a really shitty attitude. You'll take on the energy of that. And you also put something positive into your field, like this orgone pyramid that's constantly taking positive energy and turning it, and just constantly doing that transmutation. I mean, these pieces that I build, unless somebody like breaks them with a hammer or melts them, is going to forever, for every single piece for eternity, is going to be transmitting positive energy. Like I could give a lot of these pieces to my daughter, and she can give it to her great grandkids.
I just thought of that when you said that. I thought about children and grandchildren.
How old is your daughter?
For sure. She's 2 years old. So my wife and I got married 3 days after.
2.5.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's awesome. My wife and I, we got married 3 days after my 18th birthday, and we ended up having a baby almost exactly a year afterwards. And it was an incredible process. A lot of stuff happened, and a lot of medical things happened with my wife. With my daughter, we were in the hospital for 6 days and due to an induced labor. And it was really, really rough. And I made some decisions due to my lack of awareness back at the time. And I think that's kind of why I am so fervent on this right now, is because I kind of kick myself for some of this stuff that I was just blind. I didn't realize things were happening. And when you're stuck in like a traumatic situation, especially like in a hospital where there's millions of people who say they're credentialed barking at you to do certain things, you forget that you are a sovereign human that is in control of your body, and that the quality and the emotional state of your body is what's most important in anything. So even if you're in labor, you need to be constantly in a positive state, and you need to be able to be focused and all this stuff. And all of that energy is going to transmit onto the child. And my parents' divorce all at the same time ended up accumulating to where my daughter was having some medical issues with her back. I forget what they're called, but they're blood vessels that grew on the outside of the skin. They were like red spots all around her body. And like there's one that was really bad on her back. And we eventually, after like 6 months, it burst open and it all became inflamed. It was all a giant raw open blood vessels on her back. And I was asked by one of my brothers-in-laws, which actually started this whole journey. Speaking of Chance, I found Chance in his Universe podcast because my brother-in-law said, "Hey, have you ever looked up alternative healing methods?" And because he was a little bit of a conspiracy junkie too, and we talked back and forth, and I'm like, "No, I haven't. Why have I not done that yet?" Like, and then that sent me down the frequency rabbit hole in so many things, and especially the ideas of biofield tuning is just absolutely life-changing. And like the idea that you have an energy system and that your traumas are integral and they're very related to the physical things that happen to you in your body, like emotional and physical, like it's all as above, so below connected. It's all literally one thing. One thing is the programming that determines the other thing, and it's vice versa. And you don't even know what came first, the chicken or the egg, because it's like they both popped into existence at the same time.
Yeah, man.
Wow,
That's like,
dude, you're speaking my language. Yeah. I said that to a friend and my brother yesterday about a random situation. Like what?
so Isaac,
first, the chicken or the egg? Yeah.
tell me what these are right here. The transmuter. What?
Yeah, so those are my flower of life transmuters. They're 2 inches wide or long or whatever in diameter, and they are about probably 1/4 inch, 1/3 inch thick. And they have the flower of life engraved on the front of it, so there's very positive vibrational energy already. It's like they're also fully functional, powerful orgone devices that are probably going to be more powerful than most people's pyramids that they make, because I just make my stuff really, really well. Because I've done so much research, I'm trying to make things as positively as I can.
Great, man. Like this.
Thank you.
Art,
I appreciate that, and it's available for $28.50 and also on sale with certain discount codes if anybody here wants to shout out their discount code.
Do you have a discount code for me?
Shit, not yet. I need to get that set up.
Okay. You have one.
Kyle also has one too if you want to use Kyle's code. It's SNSS.
SNSS.
I was going to ask Isaac, how's your daughter doing now?
She's amazing. She's doing great. She's full of energy and she's running up and down everywhere. It kind of healed up after.
Did this happen when she was younger?
She was about 6 months old when it burst, and then it was like 3.5 months of an open wound on her back. And we were doing.
And you guys were 19 when you had her, right?
I had just turned 19, and my wife was still 18. Yeah.
So we were 20 when we had our son.
Yeah, we've been married for about 11 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
congratulations, by the way.
That's congrats, guys. That's crazy.
We've known each other since we were like 12 or 13.
Yeah, we didn't date till we were 19.
Not 18 or 19. When I had gone to jail.
Okay, let's not get into all that. Julian cleaned his life.
Well.
Hey, Jules, we can go over that on another show.
It's okay, no shame, but we don't have.
We can share stories.
It was forever ago, man.
It was pretty crazy.
Coming out of jail.
That's the only reason to stay with me. I was there.
I was real young, man. I mean, I didn't plan on having a kid. You know.
Me neither.
But I wouldn't change it for the world. Hey, it
was definitely divine intervention. I don't know if Julian would be here if that.
I hate to interrupt you guys, but I wanted to add one more thing on that transmuter.
Yeah. Let me go back to it real fast.
If you look down, there's 2 customization options. If somebody wants to read that for me.
Tell me what type of energy you are looking for from this piece. For example, calming, energize, meditative, grounding, or anything else. And what color would you like? If you would like me to decide, let me know.
So those are 2 different customization options, and that can be, the first one is able to be changed and altered by the frequency is going to be the color of the device. Also different, like the copper and the different materials are going to alter the frequency as well, but that's going to be a large part of it. And then the different stones that I add on as well, if you'd like specific stones for different chakras in the body, or just if you like a certain type of vibe, or if there's a certain crystal that you really are fond of, I can put anything in the piece. But also if you scroll a little bit down a tiny bit further, a little bit further. Oh no, it's not there. That makes so much sense. So I also have an add-on that you can purchase, which is an adhesive. So I'll put an adhesive on the back of the device, and on the back of my phone, I have a one of these transmuters. And what this does, it will transmute the negative, harmful energies that your phone is putting off. So your phone is always going to be emitting Wi-Fi signals and also different data cell phone signals, which are not good for your body. It's not good for your spirit or anything. It's disharmonious with nature. And if you take this type of piece and you put it on the back of it, it will be constantly transmuting those energies and turning it into positive life force energy instead. So you're essentially taking what they were trying to use for evil and you turn it into something that's for good. So you can also take this and you can put it, I could even theoretically put one like a small adhesive on the back of a pyramid, like a small pyramid, but you can put this on your Wi-Fi router. My wife actually intuitively, I made her this hexagonal pyramid it was a pink pyramid. It was pretty beautiful. And it also has some LED lights inside. You can also order an LED light addition to your pyramids. No, it's a pink one. I don't, it's
beautiful, Isaac. And like I said, man, this is art.
Your wife sounds amazing, by the way.
Yeah, she is really amazing.
She does,
man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is
I'll have to get her on sometime.
When you're young.
I love that color. Is that amethyst or is that just
that's just there's a quartz right there at the bottom, which is the white thing, but the rest of that's just pink epoxy. But yeah, my wife actually, she's my one and only. She's actually the only woman that I ever held hands with or anything. We met in high school, or actually junior high. I don't. Why am I getting into all this stuff?
It's something that doesn't happen a lot in our modern hedonistic society, and it's a beautiful thing. And there's verses in the Bible about it for a reason, you know.
Oh, and it's so helpful for specifically the preservance of a relationship in the future. There's a lot of baggage that comes onto previous relationships, and it's something that can always be worked through because like everyone goes through their experiences for a reason. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily positive and it's going to be beneficial for you in the future. So you right now in the choices you're making, there may be certain things or situations or people that you want to get closer to. And I mean, a lot of times it's kind of the universe testing you and like saying, hey, I'm going to throw these people at you that are not your vibe to see if you will catch it and take it. And honestly, like you can also just, every single person that comes into your life, they also come into your life for a reason. So even if it's not necessarily the best fit, you can always be a positive influence for people. And I think you should always start out friendly with people and try and get to know somebody for who they are. And I don't know how this turned into a relationship advice podcast, but you really need to understand who the person is, and you need to understand how you guys can work well together, and also understand their limitations and the things that make them tick, which is really, really important. Everybody's gone through shit in their life that before they met you, and that shit in their life is going to really be the reason why they do what they do. So there's different ticks. People have different emotional blockages that are present from previous relationships or even from parental issues. A lot of people have issues with their father and mother, and they translate that onto relationships. But all of those types of traumas and energies, those are the energies that I'm trying to work through with OREGON-ITE. And the real thing is that OREGON-ITE is not going to solve your issues. Honestly, I thought about this today. OREGON-ITE is like a really, really nice race car, or like a sports car. Like imagine you have like a Z06 Corvette, and it's beautiful, but it's nothing without the gasoline, without the fuel. And the OREGON-ITE is the vehicle, and you are the fuel. You have to power it. You have to be the person. You are the driver, and you're the gasoline, and you're the road too, actually. But you get to choose everything. It's just levels of awareness until you realize how much you actually are what everything is. But basically, I'm trying to give you an upgrade to your vehicle and give you a better ability to be able to get all this shit out and be able to work through it. And so it's going to be naturally with the science of it constantly emitting positive energy and pulling negative energy out of you. To the extent that you absorb it and utilize it is up to you. If you don't put any gas in the machine, I mean, it'll still be helping everything else out in the vicinity, because every single conscious being has its own free will and its own fucking life. Everybody lives in a different world because it's all about what state of consciousness you're at. But you always have to be the person. If you want to benefit from something, you have to be the one to put the work in. It's not going to be a solve your own issue, but it'll definitely help if you're willing to put the work. Like, I'll tell you that for sure. There's been so many people have reached out to me, and I've been just so warmed by all of the goodness. Like, I also this is a complete throw to a different subject, but I got a new job this week.
You told me.
And
Yeah. You told me, man.
It's amazing, and everything happened at the exact timing that it did for a reason. And there's this device that I had planned out, and essentially I was in like this stream of download state for a solid 3 weeks, and I like was essentially just building this device in my mind, and then I've translated it down onto paper, and it's pretty crazy. And it combines OREGON-ITE, it combines Nikola Tesla's technology, it combines a bunch of different Marco Rodin technology. It potentially will get cold fusion as well if I can get that to work.
Okay.
And it's going to have many different sacred geometric properties and different ratios, and it's going to be powered by frequency generators. So imagine the Rodin coil pyramid, as powerful as that is, but times like 100,000 and hooked up to frequency generators. And the big thing is, if you take these devices, and especially the more powerful devices, and you place them in specific energetic spots of the earth, essentially your body has different chakra points and regions and different energy zones. And in the same way that your body has those zones, the earth itself does as well. So you don't even realize the different places you're in have different types of feels. Like you can even tell every single person listening to this has gotten a different vibe from a different place that they've been to. And the reality is like, almost imagine yourself, like, if anybody doesn't know what archetypal energy is, it essentially is the idea of whatever you're trying to do. So like an archetypal energy would be the energy of love or the energy of fear, or like that's the archetypal energy. Okay, I'm going to drop a little spoiler. We are living in an energetic universe, and that energetic universe is a conscious being, and that conscious being is fueled by an energy. And that energy is known as a scalar energy. It's known also as an archetypal energy. And the energy that our universe is run by is the energy of love. And essentially what Christ was trying to do, what many, many, many spiritual leaders were trying to do, is raise the energetic level and potential of our planet by using the conduits of the humanity, of the divine creation that has been placed here, to amplify that energy of love, because we're all our own antennas and homing beacons. And when we all radiate at a specific energy of love, we activate energies within the earth itself. And when we start to focus on this love, we start to increase the amount of natural ethereal energies that exist around us. And when we lived in a previous time that a lot of people don't even recognize as real, we had a lot more of these energies of love. And we even had different types of energetic beings that were able to be here because we had a higher level of this scalar energy. When you have higher levels of this energy, you're able to have different types of beings that are able to be there because they live at a certain frequency and a specific energetic level. And if that frequency or energetic level drops, they're no longer able to inhabit this area. So that's why you have certain types of people. Even you look at the race of the humanity, and you have different levels where us as a human species were more energetically positive or negative, and you see the whole culture shift around that, and everybody kind of goes into a big just shit show, or like a reformation happens, and you have enlightenment, you have like fucking the Renaissance, and it depends on the different types of energies that are flowing. And you have to realize that the more that you try and go out and spread this information and be a vessel and an example for others, the more that people are going to also radiate that same energy. So I'm trying to turn my existence into a living OREGON-ITE device, transmuting negative energy into positive energy at all times.
That's awesome.
That's literally you. I feel as if you just articulated what I try to do as well. And I think that's the path of following Christ, right? And that was like the purpose of Christ and his incarnation here. Have you studied anthroposophy? It sounds like you have.
I have not heard of it, no.
You haven't heard of anthroposophy? Okay. Well, it's just interesting that you haven't, because what you're talking about is...
What's with the study, though?
I mean, it's essentially like spiritual science, or understanding of these ideas, of these philosophies. And 2024 is very different than our understanding of these philosophies when they originated. But I've listened to lectures on like Rudolf Steiner's Rudolf Steiner, the Christ Impulse, I believe it's called. Anyways, anthroposophy, I believe, originated from Helena Blavatsky in the 1800s, early 1900s. I'm gonna butcher all of this because I'm not like that well versed on it, but
okay.
She went to the East and then noticed certain correlations. Well, your fundamentalist Christianity is going to say, like, I mean, especially in like the Southern Baptist Church that I grew up in, no hate, but they're gonna tell you that like anything that goes outside of their box is satanic and demonic, and their intentions aren't bad by telling you that, because if you don't have that wisdom and understanding, it certainly could be. Anyways, it was kind of a marrying of Eastern traditions, and she went and she kind of understood the
mysticism of it.
Yeah, well, the aspects of these traditions that are positive, right? I mean, it's no different than like when the Roman Catholics
she talks about the great white brotherhood and stuff. And
it's no different than when like the Roman Catholics.
But people interpret it as Lucifer, and because that means light bearer.
Well, the Roman Catholics, decided that all that everything that the pagans were doing was bad because of the bad things that they were doing. Essentially, they were doing very terrible things. Exactly, child sacrifice. Yeah. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that they, and also like the Native American cultures, didn't understand the planet on which we live in a way that the Roman Catholics did not yet understand. And my kind of experience with studying all these different traditions and things, but being a follower of Christ myself, is that we are currently living in the age of information.
Yeah.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah.
I think now.
What's your perspective?
I mean, I think that
like we can now unpack these things and figure out and use our God-given, Christ-given, those gifts of the Holy Spirit of discernment to say, okay, what things of the pagan traditions were bad and harmful and which were not, right? Elemental spirits, we're not worshiping the elementals if we go into our garden and speak to our plants and speak positive energy into them.
Exist.
But we're working with the elementals when we do that. Are we worshiping them? No. Is that demonic? No. Are those spirits, do they exist? Yes. But your fundamentalist Christians they can't quite grasp this idea yet.
And
Isaac
got kicked out again, but yeah,
they really don't want him to speak.
He completely understands that.
I know
he talked about when he was on Schizo News Network, episode 8. Shouts out to the 18 people watching. Thank y'all. We love y'all.
Thank y'all.
But he came on and he talked about how the original baptism was people dying and then being resuscitated back to life by Christ or John the Baptist.
Yeah.
And that was the initiation, the rebirth that is practiced in so many mystery
It's why in the OA he drowns them over and over again and resuscitates.
There she goes with the OA.
Hey, Olivia, I will make a promise. Like we're gonna go back and rewatch it. Me and my fiance, my family.
Yes, tell your fiance that I said hello.
I will.
I'll warn you, like watching that show, and I probably should have rewatched it when I had like an outlet like this to talk to like-minded people about it. But like, it can certainly put you in a state of almost like a spiritual psychosis because you're going to want to unpack what you're watching.
There's a lot to it. Like, and one of the ones that
everything to it. It's like they studied everything and then they put it and they told the story because storytelling is like the human. It's our way. It's the most powerful, the most impactful thing. It's what we do as human beings, right? We tell stories. As an artist myself, as a creative myself, like when I am in that flow state, but in an artistic and creative way, when I'm creating art, whether it be writing or like writing a song, creating music, whatever, like it's almost as if the art creates itself, right? Like it's almost as if it doesn't come from me. It's almost as if it doesn't come from the artist. It's almost as if humanity as a collective species births certain individuals that have this impulse to do this thing, which is what artists do, because they're birthing something for humanity. And sometimes it's something dark and negative, and that's when you can get into like the duality thing. But it's because it's a reflection, right? It's like it's an impulse that like, oh, we need to do some work as a collective.
It's like, no, I agree with you at 1000%. And I never really thought about it like that, because when you think of art, if we're going to go with like rap, right? And we talk about like some of the OG, like just NWA, for instance. We'll talk about NWA, right? And fuck the police and that whole thing. Like that was not them. They did not create fuck the police. It was humanity that created that because of the things that were going on. Yeah. They felt the need to talk about that. Yeah. And I mean, that goes with like something Oliver, the song, It's a Damn Shame. However that fucking song goes.
Oliver Anthony.
Oliver Anthony.
Yeah, the Republicans' Red Heifer, dude.
There you go. There you go. Like that song was created.
The like folk type artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
It was a catchy song.
Both of those are such a great example.
Limited hangout, but catchy song.
A limited hangout.
Yeah, in my opinion, man.
What does that mean? Like he had his.
I love it. I love it. It's like a fucking cool bar you popped into.
So if anyone wonders why I keep like doing this, it's because it's the end of the day and I need to put on my glasses and be the nerd.
Cherie had to go. Good night, Cherie.
Good night, Cherie. Thanks for hanging out.
That was a minute ago. She's long gone. But I do want to ask Isaac. There he is. Hey, bud.
Yeah.
Hey,
where did I leave? Oh no, I was on a fucking rant and it was amazing. Where did I stop? I was talking for a solid 5 minutes probably, and I didn't realize I wasn't here.
She started talking, and then you had basically just dropped out. But I wanted to bring up this comment that Cherie left before she had gotten out of here. She said, Isaac, you should get together with Matthew Rife. Or have you already? Dude, I did. Well, I ran the comments on a Paranoid American stream with it was me, Rife, and Thomas, and we had a blast. So Matt said he would come on Greypilled. I'd love to have you on with him, man. Just maybe y'all could create like an OREGON-ITE Rife machine.
Yeah, you guys should definitely.
Yeah, dude.
It seems as if there's some dark forces at play that don't want
that.
Like.
Isaac's laughing right now because that's not the first time.
So yeah, I've tried. It's been an attempt. Actually,
he's a busy guy. I'm pretty sure he just launched like this pet brand that he's doing.
I'll be right back, everyone. Sorry.
No, you're
yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Can you get by there?
Yes.
Okay.
Jules, you're a good fucking dude. I'm just gonna say that real quick. You're a fucking good dude.
Yeah, dude.
You're a stand up. You're a stand up fucking dude. I appreciate it. I watch you. I see you.
Hey, guys. I hear you,
Hey,
bud.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, one thing I want to say is that this device I was talking about building. Did you guys get a chance to hear that? I didn't cut out during that, did I?
You may have. I think you cut out when she was talking.
So I actually went on a huge rant about theosophy and Helena Blavatsky.
You may have went on mute or something, or it may have already cut out.
I wanted to make this device, the large device I was talking about, a community-led device. Like, I want this to be something for the community, made by members of the community as well. I wanted to talk to Matthew Rife about seeing if he'd want to collaborate on this device, because there's a lot of things that are outside of my skill level that I'd love to get some help on. And so I'm really excited to see where this goes. But yeah, I'd love to, get that hook up. I'd love to, if you wanted to have me on Greypilled, I'd be absolutely honored to be on there with you guys.
You're always welcome on Greypilled, dude. Like, whenever, both of y'all. Like, I really want this to be a place where a lot of people in this community who are of the same mind can come together and exchange these ideas that we have, because it's important.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, for sure.
it's crazy. 13th episode, and there's 13 products on here. Sorry, that just caught my eye.
Let's go.
This is like the 13th Greypilled episode. I have my sound science and all my other stuff, my Elohim etymology and schizo. But as far as Greypilled goes, yeah, man, I'm gonna start doing a lot
no,
more.
that's
So I wanted to ask you about a few more things on here. What is
sure.
this, Isaac? This,
Yeah, let me
like
see.
I said, this is all of this is beautiful
Oh,
work. Beautiful.
that is Kyle's piece right there. That is a teardrop dodecahedron piece, and it has really, really, really nice like the vibratory geometry of every single piece that I make is different. So like the Giza pyramid I make, or the Nubian pyramid, or this pyramid, it all has different feels. Like it all feels different. And this is based off of the geometry of the dodecahedron, but it's just the dodecahedron in a pyramid form. So it's a that right there is the one of my throat chakra pyramids. I actually have two different types of pyramids that are throat chakra pyramids.
So you have different products for like different chakras, and
so they're
different
different vibrator, so different vibrations, which is just the shape. So imagine shape equals vibration. Different vibration will resonate at different at different parts of the body. So it'll help certain energies more than others, but they're also very versatile tools. Like the universal energy, the God energy is all very forgiving. So it's like if you put the work in, if you ask, you shall receive. I'm not saying that my pyramid will give it to you. I mean, all the work is done through you and the divine creator. It's like,
33.
but this is just a fucking every single device or every single price point of mine for the most part is going to be either solfeggio tones or sacred geometry.
That's
so
awesome, man.
Yeah. I don't make a huge amount of money. Like profit margins are very slim. I get this out to people for the ability to just
mushies, dude. I'm about to put in like a fat ass order with you, by the way, just so you know. So we'll talk about that afterwards.
So I don't want to interrupt. But you asked us.
Come on,
you interrupt. Fucking speak up, Kyle. Chip, you fucking retard. Come on,
dude. You're good. This is.
So, Jules, because you asked that question, I wanted to have Isaac speak on behalf of this. So I talked to Jules before he hit the button, and the button being the record button, the live button, whatever.
We were talking for at least 45 minutes, I think.
And it was a great conversation. And one of the things that we spoke about is that I was telling him about my fiance's diabetes, and shame on me for not being able to remember type 1 or type 2. But
oh
shit, it's just me and you, baby.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Jules just dropped out for anybody who's just listening. Oh, he's back.
My bad, dude.
Dude,
y'all hear me?
Yes. And I've done that a few times, dude. And let me tell you, whatever you just did works. What I've done is I exit out of everything and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to send a whole new one. We still stay live in the thing. So
there's no one watching anymore.
You obviously know more than I do. Well, if you're talking about Instagram, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but IG only goes for 1 hour, but clearly it hasn't been 1 hour. So,
okay. Now sorry, guys.
Real quick. So again, my fiance, diabetic, born with it, no pancreas, no insulin production. And I told Ashley, I was like, I'm going to buy, they're expensive as fuck. I'm buying a Rife machine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do everything in my power to help like fix you the best that we can. I'm buying a fucking Rife machine. Until I ended up having a conversation with Isaac. We chatted. He gave me his advice. I took his advice in my brain. I computed it. And I said, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. I'm not saying like, fuck that machine. No, the Rife products are amazing. But I was like, you know what?
Right.
I'm gonna go through Isaac on this one. So he made me a Isaac. You take it away.
Isaac.
Damn it! Hopefully he'll be back. But
Hello,
he can
hello,
explain.
hello, hello.
Oh, there you
hello?
go.
Hey,
There
brother.
you go.
Okay, sorry. So
Hear you.
Rife technology and
Yeah.
Orgone energy and Rife technology work in symbiosis with each other. So Orgone energy is benefited from Rife technology, and Rife technology is transmuted and cleaned up by Orgone energy. So the energies from the Rife machine are going to be very powerful, and they're going to be certain frequencies that are being pumped. That's great, but you need the energetic harmony, and I'm not 100% sure that the wrap of the coils itself is going to be able to provide that. And also, he runs it off of a tablet, and honestly, that's great. He needs a fucking Orgonite transmitter on the back of those tablets though, because you're but and I ain't gonna shit on Matthew Rife and his technology because it's great. I love it, and I would love to work with Matthew Rife, and I think his technology is beautiful. I actually was about to buy a piece or two, or one of his things, and I would love to still work with him. I think that both Orgone Energy and Rife Technology in the future are going to be essentially the same thing because they're all running off of the same energy. So like it's all scalar energy, it's all the energy of the universe. It's just harnessed and manipulated in different ways. Mine's a much more natural, slow, kind of like a baby steps. Even though there's more, it's more complex obviously than that. But you have Rife technology, which is more like it's a blast. It's like a frequency blast, and so it's going to just be. It's not structured as well as like Orgone energy would be. So I think that if you add the Orgone energy to the Rife technology, which I've said this 5 times at this point, but
I don't know, Isaac. I don't know if you cut out, but where I was going with that was Jules was asked. It mentioned something about like being able to customize these Orgone pyramids, Orgone devices, being able to customize those to the person.
Yeah.
And
for sure, yeah.
And what you did, I told you, you called me, we went over the whole deal, and I told you why I wanted it, why I needed it, and what I was hoping that it would do, and that was boiling down to like help my fiance with her kidneys and help with her. I don't know if I said insulin production, but I just wanted to anything I could to save her fucking kidneys from failing. And what was it that you whooped up?
So I made a large Giza pyramid that resonated at the solar plexus chakra level, which is where the energies of the pancreas are going to be. I've got a buddy who's a type 1 diabetic, and he's had a really, really rough life. After he found out he was diabetic, he found out in like 5th grade, and I was friends with him from 2nd grade. And I noticed how horrible I don't even get me started on the lies that they tell about diabetes and the way it's produced and the way that you can combat it. But every single part of the pyramid is going to be resonating at the energies of that solar plexus chakra, at the energies of what you're looking to accomplish. So I also have to say I'm not a doctor. I cannot cure anything. I cannot cure diabetes or take people out of different medical issues. God can do that, and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So as soon as you're the one that puts the power there, you can accomplish anything. But it's not going to be me. It's not going to be the doctor. It's not going to be a medication. But
It's
you really need
the doctor most of the time. Sorry, just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, certainly. And doctors they mitigate the symptom and they just make things worse by adding more side effects. I mean, we don't have to get into that. I also appreciate everything they do. They're great for trauma. Yeah. So the rodent coil is going to be close to the tip because the further up you get the rodent coil, the more energy it's going to gather from the Orgonite pyramid.
That's what she said.
But you need to make sure that like there's also a bunch of different stones inside of there. There's a lot of different grounding stones, which is very important. So you have like hematite, you have shungite, you have black tourmaline. Those are all very dark stones that are going to be taking in a lot of energy. It's carnelian. You have a bunch of other stones, and these are all different stones that are going to be a similar coloring.
Is it sharing the screen right now?
No.
Carnelian is really good for like creativity and physical, like it's like if you want to physically create like your podcast, for example, like the energy you put into that, that's what like that type of energy is going to be for.
Hey, next, can we talk about how time is an illusion? Because it's so bizarre that I'm doing this live stream with you guys and we're talking about all of this. And this is all of, and I mean, like, obviously, like these are like things I'm intrigued by anyways, but like these are all like specific things that I've been thinking about for the past 2 days. And now we're having this conversation. So it's
wild, right? I think time is an illusion, but I think like fate. I think fate. I guess fate. I don't know. Maybe that's not the correct term, but I do think things happen
for a reason.
Like, for a reason.
And well, the thing is, I believe in also like we don't have to get into it right now, but I believe in multiple timelines.
Oh, absolutely. Different dimensions, multiple timelines, no doubt. And I think
the multiverse, right?
Marvel, Capcom, all the crazy wild shows you see on like I don't watch most of them, not for any particular reason. I just haven't.
You don't either.
But the things that they talk about, like Thanos and I don't even know who the fuck Thanos is, but from what I've heard,
the archetype
who would Thanos be the archetype of?
He'd be the archetype
the devouring
of
father. If you're talking about like Jungian psychology.
Well, yeah, he'd be the archetype of like Enlil from the Anunnaki pantheon.
Yes,
he's the archetype of the fucking like the energy that is driving like the WEF and George Soros. Okay, so let me direct you guys.
What's this right here, Isaac?
This is my Oregon-ITE Ankh. That's actually the Ankh for Jonathan from Cult of Conspiracy. I got it right. Yeah, I got it right here somewhere. But those are available on.
It stems from Egypt, right?
Yeah. The latest known is from Egypt. It stems way back.
Yeah,
but it's commonly known from Egypt. Yes, and so the idea is the crossing over of from the spiritual and the physical realm. So the vertical line is the spiritual realm, and the horizontal line is the physical realm. And you have the convergence at the center, at the heart chakra, and you see the energies of there's two serpents, there's two snakes that are traveling up from the base that are essentially the Kundalini experience, like the energetic awakening of the DNA of the consciousness is going to be resembled in that. And then you have I'm so sorry. This Ankh itself is not the actual shape of the Ankh.
This stems from Thoth. I think as far back as Ningajita was his name in Sumeria, and me and Adrian just did a 2-hour Elohim etymology, and we talked about him a bunch. And this is the Caduceus. This is what Moses held up in the desert.
I saved this earlier today.
Well, it actually, So really what the energy, honestly, all of this is just embodying archetypal energies itself. And the energy of the Caduceus, the energy of the Ankh, they're not exactly the same geometric shape. Thoth had a staff of Hermes, you say in like Greek mythology, but it is it is a Caduceus staff with two like snakes running up it, and it's representing the energetic awakening of the chakras in the body. And so every single snake, there's little hole, like there's circles inside of the snake that'll represent a DNA that is being activated because they're DNA strands that's also being represented. But you, at the same time, you have the different chakras in the body. And when you rise up in the energetic centers, you raise your awareness. That is the root of what I'm trying to get people to do.
So can I tell what was the Kundalini awakening dream?
Sure. Yeah.
It's really bizarre. I don't dream a ton, but when I do, I just feel like it's significant. And it was so bizarre. I had this dream a while back while studying lots of things and while experiencing lots of things within myself. kind of like what we talked about before we began this live, the dark night of the soul. Some very traumatic personal things that happened in my personal life. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that in particular, but I had this dream one night, just so bizarrely and randomly, about snakes, about serpents, and being raised a Southern Baptist fundamentalist Christian. And I am, again, a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ. But so like a dream like this is scary to me, especially before I really studied what the book of Genesis means. Essentially, I have this dream, and I'm in this place, and it's familiar. I can't quite explain where I was, but there's snakes everywhere. And I don't dream like vivid. I don't dream dreams like this often. And I realize there's snakes everywhere, and I'm scared of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's snakes everywhere. I'm scared of snakes, and also like snakes are evil. Because of this, way that I was raised, this way of thinking, because of the book of Genesis and my limited understanding of the book of Genesis of just serpent evil, right? And I'm like trying to avoid all of them. And I'm like looking at each one, and it would be like a certain pattern. And so I would like look at the pattern of the snake and be like, is this a bad one or a good one? Is this a bad one or a good one? I'd walk up to them, and then I'd run away. And suddenly I walk up to the snake, and I suddenly wasn't afraid. And then it came to me. And it just became a part of me. I'm not weird, like with kinky weird, like I'm just not. And I mean, we have
Hey
great,
guys, what do y'all
okay,
think?
don't have to tell them anything, but like, we have a great relationship.
We have
I'm
a
just
great
saying,
sex life.
like, it was like weird as fuck, this dream. Okay.
Hold on.
And
Sorry.
but it felt so significant. But then after the dream, I felt like I had been reading lots of things about, like, just in the past maybe 2 or 3 years, about philosophy and like what I was talking about earlier, anthroposophy, theosophy, Rudolf Steiner, of which all of those writings, of which, by the way, I believe were meant for the time period that we are currently living in. And I believe they are meant for the next phase of evolution for humanity, the Hindus even talk about. And I think that it's, by the way, let me make sure I always say this, that it is only whenever we have the Holy Spirit and we have that gift of discernment through the Holy Spirit that we are able to discern the positive from the negative, the light from the dark, and all of these things, in which I feel as if I personally feel as if I'm in a place where I can study certain things, and it doesn't bring me to a place of fear, and it doesn't bring me to a place of questioning the creator of all. It doesn't bring me to a place of questioning my relationship with Christ. And I feel as if, if someone is in a place where it brings them too much fear, they're not ready for that, because occult essentially means hidden, right? And many people that learn about the occult, they learn about it when they're in a place within themselves. They haven't evolved internally to an extent in which they can handle that kind of knowledge and understanding without being possessed by their ego, and without using that understanding and knowledge for evil, right? And I think that's why it is hidden, because not everyone can handle that without, being a terrible human being. But it doesn't mean that if one is in a place spiritually in which they can handle that understanding, it doesn't mean that it's evil for them to understand it. If you have that gift of discernment through Christ, the Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, etc.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Oh no, it makes sense, and it's just making sense right now. My fucking brain is tingling. That wow. Wow.
But it's like, can you handle that extent of truth without becoming
Absolutely.
your shadow self? Have you done shadow work? And I don't mean in the way of like when you scroll on TikTok and it's like, oh, shadow work. Here's this shadow work journal. Buy this now, with the Holy Spirit guiding you and with people surrounding you that have the Holy Spirit. And that's what all of these other traditions have left out. And then you have the fundamentalist Christians, or like the hardcore Roman Catholics. Just like any religion, they're controlled by that spirit of religion. So I'm a big believer in like spiritual warfare. And there's a spirit to religion, right? That is not helpful. It's divisive, but it's the place in which humanity is at right now. And it's interesting to me that is so hard for so many people, like that are so many people of whom their religion is science.
What?
This is coming from someone of whom, like, even when I was failing every class in school and I went to a decent school, like, I always had an A in science because, like, you didn't have to make me pay attention in science class because I wanted to understand how the universe worked at a very young age because I'm, like, probably on the spectrum. And and that's just my natural inclination is just, how's it work, right? And
I've mentioned that before, as far as like, I made a comment on another show, something about the spectrum and being on the spectrum.
I'm on the spectrum.
Dude, that's what I'm fucking saying, dude. I was talking about Jules the entire time. No.
Everyone that's ever done anything great in the history of humanity,
Even all
was
of
on
you
the
watching
spectrum.
right
Nikola
now, like,
Tesla was on the
special.
spectrum. We didn't have that diagnosis back then
So
to understand that they were neurodivergent, but now we know in hindsight they were on the spectrum.
I've been lying to all of you guys. I said chef, right? And I love to cook, but I'm lying. I actually, for a living, I lick windows is what I do. So I can say this. I'm a window licker, dude.
You what?
I'm a window licker. I lick windows. What's a spectrum, first of all? What is a spectrum?
Well, I'm sorry. There's a couple things I really want to touch on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing is the idea of occult knowledge and the hiddenness of it. I think that one of the really important things is the energy of the people that introduce the occult knowledge to you is the energy that you're going to embody when you start to learn it. And there's a lot of people who are really negative and put a bunch of like, you have the idea of the right-hand path and the left-hand path. That's why I'm so
turned away from Crowley, and that's why, like, when anyone brings up Crowley, I'm like, nope.
So the idea, like Crowley, I get a bad feeling in my stomach, and I always have whenever people bring him up. And he's tied to negative archetypal beings. But that was the first point that I was trying to say was the occult knowledge. The second point is the autism thing. First of all, I don't want to be rude when I'm saying this. I'm not being rude when I'm saying this, but autism is not autism is not a physical issue characteristics. You cannot physically tell somebody's autistic just by looking at somebody. And that's saying like there's a lot of different
especially women, because we're really good at masking. Continue.
And I'll say Down syndrome and stuff like that. You can physically tell when there's a disability. Right. But autism is like, it's essentially a measure of how it's like different chromosomal imbalances. I don't even know if that's specifically chromosomal. I don't know if autism on a level. And in reality, I think humanity is on the spectrum. Every single person is on the spectrum, and it just matters how far you slide to one side or another. And there's also like a bunch of different types of that spectrum. Like you have different types of energies in different persons, and I think all of it really ties down to karmic shit that you're still tied to. No. Well, also that's not a negative thing. I'm not like trashing people because everybody's got their thing that you're going through, and it's like it's just like the embodiment of the like mental issue or the physical issue is a mirror to your soul in a way that God is trying to communicate to you what's going on. And it's trying I'll say autism doesn't count on this because honestly that's just a level of like aptitude, and people look at the world differently, and it's like you're kind of just measuring levels of intelligence and not understanding how they're intelligent, because we have like IQ tests and these really flawed terms of trying to understand people's how smart they are, because people will be smart 1,000 different ways. Every person is smart in their own unique individual way. And that's what makes us so special, because we look at the world differently. And a lot of times people get bullied and criticized for looking at the world extremely differently. And I think the world's starting to change. And we have people like myself, for example, who is able to have a bunch of people support him. And people would normally think I'm an absolute lunatic. But it's
not.
really cool because I think
bring it out.
You're such
anyone that thinks that you're a lunatic is just in a very lower vibrational state. So,
or this ties into the next part. It is fear.
Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, brother.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm glad to be here. It's things are very, 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 very busy right now. It's absolutely crazy. I'm working full time out of nowhere this week. I was literally had a job thrown at me, which is going to allow me to learn everything. Dude. Oh, 100%.
For a reason, brother.
Well, I'm going to tell a story, okay? So I finally got one of these rodent coil pyramids hooked up to a frequency generator on Sunday.
Let's pull these rodent coils up.
And so this pyramid, it's something I've been talking about forever since I started. The first podcast was actually with Mark on My Family Thinks I'm Crazy about a week before I discovered the rodent coil technology. And I messaged him out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, I've got this crazy technology. This is back in like August of last year. And he goes on I go on his show, and it's like an hour-long podcast, and I stumble around and I ask to cut and change it. And and he ends up posting it on his Patreon feed only. But because it was really bad. But the next episodes were way better, and I've definitely improved since then. But this pyramid that I created, I've been talking about it this whole entire time, never been able to actually get it hooked up and powered. And so you can have this pyramid and plug it into a wall and play specific sacred frequencies through it. And on Sunday, I finally got it hooked up, got it playing, and it was I couldn't feel anything. As I said, I'm really energetically dense, so I couldn't feel it specifically, but it was like that happened. And then that night I was laying down in bed, and things were really, really rough financially. Like, things have been way rougher than they've ever been before in life. The businesses aren't hard to get started and running, especially when you're doing them full time without any other income. But I was like, I laid down in bed, and I laid down there, and I felt like I entered a zone where I was in the realm with God. And I was like, I got myself into a specific prayer mode. And the problem with myself is like, I've had a lot of issues with the idea of prayer, because I went through a lot of religious trauma where I didn't really understand how God worked, because I was told a lot of ways how to do things. And like, I didn't really understand it. So I was like, I had certain ways I would pray, and I would just literally just talk to God and sit there and just ruminate. And I hadn't done that in a long, long time. It's been like solid 10 years even since then. And things have been rough, and things have also been great. But I laid down there that night, Sunday night, and I was thinking, I'm like, okay, God, I'm just going to pray. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to be very thankful for all this. I'm going to tell you this is all in your hands. You can, I went through 3 specific times. I keep kicking myself out of it and getting distracted, and I put myself back in it. And eventually I fell asleep in that state. And I woke up the next morning to a phone call from my father-in-law, who woke me up, who said, hey, yo, you've got this job. I've been signed up at my local union for a while for an electrical work. And he's like, you've got this job at some place that's absolutely incredible that ends up being on this really powerful heart chakra ley line of the earth. And you're going to learn all of the stuff you need to know, essentially, to build this device you're planning on building. And you're also going to be financially stable for the rest of your life. Essentially, that's what I heard. He didn't say that specifically, but like, that's what happened. And then come Wednesday, I started this job, and this was absolutely zero plans at the beginning of this week. And so I got the pyramid hooked up. I'm not saying that my pyramid caused this, but also the energies of like manifestation are very similar to these energies, because like the energies of like love and gratitude is the energy of manifestation. So I got myself into this state of love and gratitude, and honestly, I was not looking for a full-time job. I wake up at like 3-something o'clock in the morning, and I go to work, and I start work at 6 a.m. and I'm driving an hour a day. or 2 hours a day, an hour there and back. And it's like, it's completely different than what I was planning on before. Now I have to juggle this business with this job. And it's, I mean, my family thinks I'm crazy. Our second episode with Mark released this last week, and it was a doozy. It was amazing. And it finally released actually the first day that I started my job. And now I've got a bunch of orders I got to fulfill too on top of this job. So once again, if anybody places an order that's listening to this, I apologize if it takes a little bit longer. There's a lot on my plate, but all of this stuff is incredible, and it's all happening for a reason at the perfect timing. Like 3 weeks before that, like this last month, I've been in that fucking constant like download state, building this device in my mind, and then eventually putting it down on the paper. And then literally when I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to build it, I literally get all these connections, and it's like absolutely incredible. And I'm going to learn how to build it. Literally,
that's not a coincidence. You know, none of that is a coincidence, and anyone that tells you that is a fool.
Hey, Isaac. So right here, this says Oregon scalar. Is this what you're talking about by the coil?
That's similar, yes. I can't verify. First of all, that price is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's ridiculous. I assume that the coil itself is built from Oregon-ITE, but I like the inside of the coil, like what's wrapped.
It could be a silicone mold too. You would hope it would be Oregon-ITE.
But I really doubt anything. Most things on Etsy are fake, and they're not actually serving the purpose they're saying they will. And actually, Chef, I hated to burst your bubble, but actually, could you pull up that other pyramid that you got by chance? Kyle, the little thingy you got, the cone. Could you pull it up?
The cone. I don't think this shit is real, and I'll tell you why. So I went to go yank these down to go show Jules, and I go to get this down off of my thing. It's fucking like badly chipped here. It just doesn't feel right. It does not feel right at all. And then the tip, like it just doesn't feel. It doesn't.
It's
feel
not.
Right.
It's so that is a prime example of bad energy Oregon-ITE that's made to specifically make my craft look like it's fake.
They weigh the exact same. So look at the size difference. But let me tell you, I bought it. It looked fucking cool. I did not expect it, but sure. I will tell you that it doesn't feel right. And what do I mean by that? Yeah, I hold it.
You don't. So look at it. I'll have you do a little bit of sleuthing. Look at this and hold it up, and then look at my pyramid in your other hand and hold it up as well. What's different in the design? What it's made of? What's it made of that's different?
I can feel the energy from this. By the way.
Oh, it's great.
So on the right side, or my right, your left, my Oregon-ITE is made of mostly metals. You don't even see the crystal in there at all because it's 95% metal. Yeah. So you have the clear quartz always at the tip, and then the rest of it is orgone completely. The only orgone in any orgone device is where the metal is. If there's no metal there, then it's not orgone. And if you don't have 50% metal in your device, then it's not going to properly transmute the orgone. Actually, what that piece does is it will collect energy and it will not properly turn it into the positive energy. So it essentially is going to do the opposite. Yes, it does the opposite of what you try and do. The epoxy, and I can't even guarantee that those crystals are real because there's a chance that most people just put plastic and other shit in their pieces. I actually looked up because I was just curious. I looked up the word Oregon-ITE and I looked through the different people who were selling it, and there was this Oregon-ITE wholesaler that was selling his pieces that looked just like that one for whatever it was online. It was some factory in China that was mass producing them, and it was like $3 a piece wholesale, and you could buy them for like $3 or $4. And there's no way you can even make Oregon-ITE that cheap. I mean, the weight, the amount of cost to ship it itself due to the weight is going to be more than that.
Do you want to know how much I paid for that?
How much?
You're not going to be disappointed, but it's going to make sense. It was like 20 or $25. And immediately I was like, it looks really fucking cool though, but I didn't think about the fact. I didn't think about for me, it was a piece. It wasn't something like, oh, this is Oregon-ITE. For me, it was a piece that looks fucking really cool. It really does. It looks really cool. And so does your stuff. It looks really cool.
I'm actually going to bring this up because this is super important. My wife told me this. She bought a while back when I started getting into crystals and started getting into Organite. She bought this piece off of Amazon that was, it looks like a bunch of rose quartz at the bottom. And then there's this copper tree that goes up to the top that has these other rose quartz beads at the top. And she bought it at the beginning and I was like, that's so cool. Like we put it in the center of our room. And eventually I started learning more about Organite and I was like, wait, that shit's fake and it's probably producing negative energy. But she came to me and she's like, honey, if it makes me happy looking at it, if I enjoy it in my room, if the energy is positive coming from it, then it doesn't then it's not actually a big deal, because if the energy that I am receiving from this, even if it's not necessarily positive that it's intended for, if it's still positive energy that's being put in the environment that I'm receiving, if it still makes me happy, then I think that it kind of transmutes the negative energy itself. So I think one of the things about what we need to look about and focus on for anything, you can talk about fucking COVID, you can talk about food, you can talk about anything. It is the mindset of what you think that determines your reality. So honestly, I kind of feel bad going on all these shows and saying, oh, this Organite's fake and it's horrible, because I'm kind of fear mongering at that point. And honestly, I kind of want to apologize to everybody for that. I have a high level of perfectionism. So I try to make sure that all my stuff is perfect and isn't going to harm people in the energy mechanics. And I kind of get pissed off at people who don't care about it. But the truth is like, even if you were to have that fake Organite, if the energy's positive in like that you're giving it, then I don't think it's going to be hurting you. But I still think if you want a piece of Organite, get a piece of Organite that's made correctly and it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
I think that's huge, dude. I think that's huge. And I get what you're saying. And listen, the amount of chats that we've had, we've chatted many times. And
yeah, I don't think I've talked to anybody more than I've talked to you before. And I love it. I love it.
I can't explain it, but it's the same thing. Like Jules, I hopped on his show last week, I believe. I think it was last week. Last Thursday with Joe Reezy and representing the cave. And
talked about fallen angels.
Immediately, it's fucking weird. And this is not necessarily maybe it is Organite related. I don't know. But as far as energy goes, like, I fucking know when I come across real people, like real actual people that not just real people. Like I've had a ton of real people on my show. They're real. You can touch them. They're here. But people that are fucking real, man, and people that give a fuck, and people that have good intentions. And after, the deal was already sealed with Jules after last Thursday. That was already sealed. Like, I know this is my boy, and you're fucking stuck with me, dog. And I'm sorry. And Isaac, you're stuck with me too.
Love you, dude.
But then I love you too, brother. And then I met your wife today, and
everybody did.
Fucking real, dude. Everybody. It's not fake, phony. Like none of that shit. Dude, fucking real fucking people, bro. Real people. Yeah. And there's no fake. Like I don't my as if I have no, seriously, man. You guys are both, you guys are a great couple. The way you guys compliment each other is
probably been married for 11 years.
It speaks for itself.
It really does. And
it speaks for itself.
She was there for me when no one else was. And when I was at my lowest, and she stood by me.
And that's the only reason he's with me now.
I can't speak on behalf of that, but you guys are fucking great, dude. Both, seriously, man. Seriously, you guys are a beautiful couple together. Both of you guys, and I'm a nobody, dude. I'm not.
We're all nobodies, bro. Who cares?
I can tell you this is definitely not the end, and I actually would be interested in. I'm interested in whatever whatever y'all want to talk about, like anytime, any day, like sign me up. But I think
I'm always down.
Olivia, you had mentioned when we first started, briefly mentioned the OA. You asked me what I thought. I honestly don't know a whole lot about it except for the original Angel and like,
Yeah.
but I want to go back, myself, rewatch it, and I think we should do a show on that. Isaac, obviously, you included as well, and do like a. And actually, hey, I have an idea because Isaac is not just from. He doesn't just make Orgonite. Isaac, how's your podcast going? Have you been super busy, and are you still rolling out with your stuff?
I've got 3 episodes that I have guests planned to film with.
Okay.
I've got a couple. Sean from Meta Mysteries, I'm gonna have him on.
Big
We're gonna work that out earlier, but scheduling's just been crazy. But also, if anybody hasn't heard, there's this guy named Nigel Perrymont who's been going around the podcast circuit, and he's got some really amazing information on Egyptian mythology and stuff like that. And I was on a podcast with him with Brandon Thomas, and we had a great chat. And so I'm having him on as well. Yeah. And then also, last but not least, there's a guy who I met who reached out to me actually, who he bought a rodent coil pyramid as well. That's actually the one that I got hooked up on Sunday. And he turns out that he went to the same Bible college that my parents did. And like that,
Wow.
everything's connected. And the way that he started the conversation, he's like, yeah, I kind of grew up in a cult. And he didn't tell me, he didn't explain it or anything yet. And then he's like, at the end of it, he's like, have you ever heard of blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. And so he's actually also he's a designer. He's a fashion designer. He makes clothing, and we're working on a clothing line together, specifically shirts that are in hoodies that are going to have like copper infused in the back of it and Orgonite infused to the clothing. And it's also going to be high frequency fabric. So there's going to be like, we're looking for specific types of linens. And he even went super deep into the frequency of every single material. And in the frequency of specifically, he said linen
talks about that.
And he said that linen is like the highest frequency that you can have for a piece of clothing. But if you layer them, just like in an Orgonite device, but kind of backwards, it cancels the energies out. Yes. So you have to only have a single layer of linen. And so there's a bunch of different stuff that we're learning and figuring out. And we're going to do a podcast together talking about, what was it going to be on? We're talking about like the connection between the ancient mystery religions and the separation from the church and how all of that stuff got messed up, and talking about Council of Nicaea. And we're going to go into like Library of Alexandria and Hermeticism. And
that was the first false flag, in my opinion.
Well, there was probably we've lived in an infinite universe, so there's probably been many more. But the in our history that we can definitely like see in the timeline, like that was the first major attack on consciousness.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What is your podcast called?
It's called the Orgonite Hours. I've got the first episode is up. It's been a while since I've produced it with a guy named Pleiades, and he's a rapper. He's absolutely amazing. He's actually coming out with a new album in the next couple weeks. And he's absolutely like, listen to his albums. They're amazing. They're like, there's a reason why I gravitated to it, and I had him on for my first podcast because he's an amazing, a beautiful soul. So everybody should go give that a listen if you haven't already. And it's definitely a thing that's in the progress. I mean, it might take a little bit longer than I even planned on before.
Not again, dude. We're gonna do this every week. Hopefully, I'm supposed to do an Odd Pilled, but Oddfellows is out of commission right now. He's dealing with a lot of stuff.
If you check your Instagram, I think you got the message. I think Isaac's phone died, so Isaac's out. Alski's Lebowski's, but
okay, guys. All right. Well, so Isaac is gone. I wish we here. I'm going to share his page one more time, just so if there's anyone who's just now watching, or if you didn't watch the whole thing, you can go back and watch. We just talked about Isaac's products, and his phone died, so he's out. Yeah, it's all good. we'll see him again soon. But
Thanks
y'all,
for coming on, Isaac.
maybe he's gone.
Okay, well, he will hear me later.
All right. So OREGON-ITE.com. That's OREGON -ITE. Get Kai.com. I know.
Hey, what I would say real quick, Jules, is right now plug in whatever, like a couple letters that you would want for your promo, and he's gonna promo this shit. He'll make you a promo shit. So if you can figure out something,
it's a multi-poo.
Not a Maltese and a poodle.
He is a sweetheart.
He thinks that
she bought him, and then she got pregnant with our daughter. So
he thinks he's the alpha.
He does bark at me constantly, even though I raised him. But it's okay because I love him.
If he says
and dog backwards is God. So guys, take care of your dogs and don't be mean to them, even if they fuck with you sometimes. Like, dude, Nora will be messing with him, and he'll just he'll just like bite my daughter's hand. I'm like, dude, she's 2. What are you doing? But she just laughs at him.
Yeah, kind of like it's not like a bite. It's more like a
boy.
The only time the Bible refers to
he feels some type of way sometimes. Not you, buddy.
Is when he talks about angels and
his name's Kai, guys. Kai the multi. We had a real bad car wreck a couple weeks before I had got clean in 2018.
Yeah,
and I didn't have a seatbelt on, and she said that in the midst of us flipping,
something pushed him towards me. Something pushed him.
Like something
flipped. And
I didn't have a seatbelt on, so I should have been like ejected out the vehicle,
trajectory of our vehicle
across the
was going this way.
So
and as I'm in a seatbelt going this way, and the seatbelt is holding me back. He's going towards the windshield, and his head is going against the windshield. Something I don't quite remember. I remember just
I remember coming to it, and a black lady, a very sweet large black lady on the phone crying, talking on the phone, just like, I think they did. And
what I saw when it was actually
then I remember waking up in the hospital.
I just remember there was a light, and I remember the seatbelt holding me in, but yet somehow he ended up, while his head's hitting the windshield, then this light and something pushed him towards me.
I have a scar.
And it was as if intervened and pushed him
a windshield
away from. He should have gone. We hit 70 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour concrete in the middle of like an interstate.
Dude,
okay.
You guys are creeping me the fuck out.
And
sorry, bro.
So after
you'll know why. I'm gonna let your wife
happened. I mean,
no cat.
After the wreck happened, when I'm coherent, and he's
that was a good joke. I'm sorry,
because he hit his head so hard against the windshield. But again, it was like something, I don't know what. He didn't go through the windshield. He suddenly just ended up pushed towards me, and because he had tried to put a seatbelt on, and he was wearing a trench coat.
We had went to a high dressed event.
It was an event. I wanted
in the middle of fucking Jacktown.
It's awful.
It's a third world country.
Can I
definitely a war zone?
Can I share with you my story?
You can share.
Yeah, of course.
So to keep it short and quick, like I was addicted to opiates for a very long time. And hopefully this will not fuck up my potential VA benefits. But yeah, I was addicted to opiates for a long fucking time.
It's very addictive. So
they are very addictive.
I think it's a spiritual attachment.
Continue.
But this is weird. This is creepy. Not a coincidence. So I got my shit together, kind of, sort of. Went to the Navy in 2009. 2009. Yeah, I was 19 years old. I went to boot camp and I did my shit, man. I did a good job. I did do a good job the short period of time I was there. Somehow I got some really good job because somehow my brain is smart. It's a spectrum thing. Like I was smart in one area and not smart in the other one. And I wanted to be a chef. Okay. I wanted to be a cook in the Navy. And they said, no, we don't recommend that. So I ended up being an advanced aviation electronic technician. So I worked on circuit boards. Don't ask me how. They offered me like a $10,000 bonus and I took it. I got the bonus after I completed A school. So after I completed A school, I would then, so I had to go through boot camp. I had to go through all this other bullshit training and then go through A school. And after I passed the 420, funny enough, that was the test, the 420. After I passed that, I would then receive my 66.66% of my bonus. The reason why I say that is because the government taxes it and they take out 33.33%.
Of course they fucking do.
Are
Yeah,
you
figure that one out.
Now?
Huh?
Hold on. They take out 33.3%, and what is
Yes.
left is 66.6%.
That leaves me with, well, I guess 33. Yeah, I guess there's some a number or a fraction missing, but yes, that's what I'm left with. So I think it was $9,000, and I think it was left with somewhere around 6,000, which fucking creeps me out now that I'm talking about it. Creeps me the fuck out. But anyhow, everything is good. I then get stationed. I got married.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I'm a young fucking Navy dude, and I got fucking married, and that didn't work out. And so after that happened, I started having like really wild chest pains. Shit. And the woman that I had married at the time, half black woman that I married, just I don't know if that really doesn't fucking matter, but that's what it was. And I called her. I was on the phone with her and I told her I'm having chest pains. And I'm not a whiny little bitch, by the way. I don't use Band-Aids. I don't believe in Band-Aids. Band-Aids are for fucking pussies. I use super glue and duct tape. That's just me. No judgment. If I cut my finger off, dude, it's fucking, I don't do any of that shit.
Super glue.
I just cauterize it. Just burn it.
That's gangster. That's gangster. That's on another level. So I was having heart issue, or I thought was, it was not heart issue. So long story short, she pretty much said, I'm in the barracks. And she said, I'm either going to call an ambulance, which I don't want a scene. I don't like a scene. I don't need no one to be like, oh, Chef Kyle, you have a boo-boo. How can I help? I don't want your fucking help. I'm okay. Fuck you.
Same way.
I'm okay.
I'm the same way, yeah.
So she says that. So I was like, fuck it, dude. So I had to go onto the quarterdeck, which is like the main area in the berthing, the barracks, the berthing. I'm going to say all these words that may or may not make sense, but, and I was like, hey man, I'm having chest pains. I really don't want to fucking be here or say that. I guess I need help because someone else is telling me I need fucking help. So, okay. So I go to the doctor and the doctor is checking my heart and notices that I have a heart murmur.
Did you, prior to this, you didn't know that you had a heart murmur?
I at that time I did not know. However, my mother knew that I was born with. I had a murmur at some point.
Our son was born with a heart murmur.
So
it's finally that valve's finally.
We had to go to We had to go to doctor's appointments for years until with that.
What was it? Was it atrial septal defect? ASD? Atrial septal defect? That's what I had.
I was a month early. They forced me to have a C-section. So then our daughter as well. I also had a C-section. Also, they forced me to do that a month early. Because they were scared she wasn't growing enough, and it was like maybe.
That was good for me that she had a C-section.
Dirty dog, I love you, dude.
Okay. I mean, look, I'm not complaining. C-sections, like, I honestly, in a way, I mean, The natural way is beautiful, but also I'm not complaining about the fact that it's C-sections.
Both of my children are both C-section children. My last one, who's 2, was an emergency C-section, born 2 months early. Emergency as fuck.
2 months. Wow.
Scariest thing in my life. Had a tube in her nose.
A month and a week, I think. So
when she got home,
very early. Did she have to be in the NICU?
Oh, yeah. And for the NICU that we were in, listen, no bullshit. I'm not kidding you. I literally had this conversation with my fiance. I was like, listen, I am going to go in there and I'm taking my fucking kid out of that fucking hospital, because we would go in there and her ass is fucking raw. Because you have 2 NICU nurses to 6 fucking kids. And the 3 kids on one side, they really needed the help. So I'm not shitting on them. They were not doing good. My daughter was doing fine. Her only issue is the weight thing. Long story short, I brought her home. She had a tube in her nose. I fucking yanked that fucker out. My daughter's in no goddamn tube. Yep.
That's actually you did that, because those tubes, especially the tubes in their throat, when they're so little, it can cause permanent.
Yeah, not in my house, dude. Fucking.
Any? Or was it too difficult for her to breastfeed?
Oh no, breastfeeding did not work. Breastfeed kind of worked out for the first. Babies. It kind of worked out for the first one, but the second one it wasn't fucking working, which makes sense. She's like 2 months early, so we canceled a lot of that shit. But anyhow,
well, and you have to at that point. You can't.
And listen. We don't do Enfamil, we don't do Similac, and no judgment to other people that did or does or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was awake. I mean, she's only 2 years old. I've been kind of into this shit for just a little bit longer than that. So yeah, it was all. What was the brand, babe? The brand of formula we used.
Tell your fiance that I said hi.
Olivia says hi, bub.
That I would love to meet her.
We're gonna make that happen.
We're gonna meet a lot of
we spent like. It was like $40 a tub of.
We did an organic one as well. It was like a European based formula, because they make their formula much better than America, because America, like, they just want to poison all of us for babies. So
we had our power go out after a storm, and we lost all her frozen breast milk.
Oh, I cried for so long.
That's gold. That's
I was pissed. I got home from work and she was crying, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she was like, "Oh, all the breast milk is gone."
Well,
I'm pretty sure I got on my knees and cried myself.
I saved it for any time that Nora was.
Guys, get yourself a backup generator or a deep freezer, for that matter.
That happened both times.
But make sure you keep the breast milk.
The breast milk that I froze. Do you realize that? If the freeze when we had the really bad winter when we lived at your dad's house when Judah was little, when we were 20. But after we had her.
Well, that's just
that breast milk
the Satan's fucking with us.
It's wild, and that's a whole nother topic.
Let me just say, the amount of effort I put into using a breast pump to get that breast milk to save for my.
So I got to live in the light of Christ. We got 25 people watching on.
Jules interrupts very badly.
I do interrupt, and I interrupt my friend Adrian West when I do the Pantheon project. I interrupt him so much, man, and I really need to let up on him. Y'all go follow him at Adrian West HQ. And
Adrian West. Hold on. Adrian West
HQ. And then Pantheon.Siri.
All right, I'm gonna follow him. I got him typing in here.
Elohim etymology. And I'm dropping the 5th episode either tomorrow or Sunday. He's finishing the edit. I had to edit it this week, but I had to edit a couple other ones. And then we're doing one in the morning. So Inky Part 4. We go deep on the fallen angels, and we actually get into the biblical text and expose a few things that are written in these Sumerian texts, man. So it's very exciting. He's writing a series of books right now.
We were talking about a car accident, right, that you guys went through. So real quick, long story, chef short, the way that I shorted up, I guess you will.
Do what you
So I ended up having open heart surgery in the military, right? I had a hole in my heart. I had open heart surgery. They split me open. I'm anyhow, under here, I have a big scar. I have 2 little notches where they put tubes in. Okay. So the problem with that was the problem with that is that I was clean off of opiates for a good 2 years. And then I had open heart surgery, and they decided, obviously they didn't decide. I didn't tell them I had a problem. Right?
Well,
Were they pumping you with morphine?
No, well, I had morphine, dude. I maxed out. I had a little clicker, and I maxed that motherfucker out, dude. Because my tolerance was so
let
high.
me not fucking feel anything, please.
Yeah, I mean, I was in like serious pain. There was one time, which was probably the worst. Not even the surgery wasn't bad. After the surgery wasn't bad until my lung collapsed. So I had a lung that collapsed. So they put me up on this. Imagine me sitting on a backwards chair where I'm like hugging the chair, and I'm freaking out, dude. And there's like a lieutenant or some officer. I was enlisted. I fucking actually worked for a living, and these other officers were like, anyhow, they're like, oh, we're gonna fix this dude up. And my mom was in the room, my aunt was in the room, and they're like, yeah, his lung collapsed. We need to reinflate it. And so I see this doctor, and I'm in the worst, dude, one of the worst pains I've ever been in. And I see this doctor whip out this fucking needle, dude. And this fucker's like this fucking big, and I'm like, oh hell no. I'm cussing, I'm screaming, I'm on morphine, dude. I'm an asshole. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck. Right before he goes to jab my ass, dude, in the back. So he was going to go through the back and inflate my lung. I'm panicking so bad. My fucking lung re-inflated somehow, someway. Don't know how. Intention, divine.
Within you. That's how it re-inflated itself.
It re-popped up, and I'm like, oh, like I'm like a kid in a candy store, dude. Thank you, Lord, because I did not want that needle in my back, even though I knew it was gonna make me feel better. So I get out. I have 6 months of leave, paid medical leave, and they're giving me Percocets at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. At the time, when I say what I'm about to say, at the time that I was in, Percocets was like, I was blowing OC 80s, dude, fucking all day. So that's like you have a sugar high and you eat a bunch of candy all day and someone hands you a Skittle. It's like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna work. So long story short, I got into heroin, went down that route.
Yeah, we did too.
And it's terrible, but it's such a beautiful, dude. It's a beautiful thing to talk about because you have to realize, like, you will be. It's an uncomfortable thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've talked about this before. I've talked.
Oh, I'm very transparent about my past.
And you should be, because it could help somebody. It even if you talk about this shit every single show you do, if it helps one fucking person, one person, that's it. It's worth it. And you get all this judgment from the other thousands of people that watch your show. It doesn't matter. It's worth it. You saved a life.
We love y'all.
The people that are judging people for being addicted to opiates, like God bless you, seriously, because like God humbles everyone, and if you have children, He will humble you through your children. So like, if you think you're perfect and you think your children are going to be perfect, like seriously, God bless you, because like, your children might end up being opiate addicts if you've spent your life judging people that have been addicted to opiates. Because not going to about your story, and I'm not going to get into a story. I'm just going to bluntly state that I developed what I didn't know was a mental addiction at 15 because a doctor just gave me an opiate prescription for Vicodin, 10 milligram Vicodin, at 15 for menstrual cramps. I didn't need that, okay? I needed naproxen, like prescription strength. That's all I needed. I didn't need opiates, okay?
You didn't get addicted because you were like out there seeking these fucking.
Absolutely.
No, they gave it to you.
Was I?
Yeah, and I met people in rehab, dude. When I was 16, had one dude that was shaking, dude, like this. And he was not like a thug. He was not he didn't look like a drug abuser of any sort.
Yeah.
But they gave him benzos his whole life, and they cut him off of the benzos. And you wonder why this poor dude would not stop.
No, you can die instantly from those withdrawals.
From benzos, fucking alcohol, same thing. Like
Alcohol.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it's so sad.
So while I'm recovering for 6 months, I got back into it. I'm getting paid for 6 months. I am getting paid 6 months, and it wasn't great pay. It was military pay. Military pay is garbage. And so
Had to pee, guys.
I ended up having to go back to work. So I live in Southern California, Southern California, as I like to say
Are
it.
you where you're at right now as well?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, I'm in Southern California as of right now, and I'm about an hour and a half.
I love it. I love that you say that way. It's true.
Yeah, it's California, dude. Governor Newsom is a fucking pile of dog shit. But I had the opportunity to stay in San Diego and not have to commute. But because I lived an hour and a half away, my mom had a beautiful pool in the backyard, and I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, I want to recover at home.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my old friends. The friends that were still in the same loop, the same rotation.
Stuck in that
People,
cycle.
places,
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
That's why I teach you that in recovery. You have to
Yep.
avoid those triggers.
You have to separate yourself, man. So I was on my way to work. I was staying up to like 4 or 5 in the morning, getting fucking loaded. And I'd wake up like at 7 in the morning, only getting 3 hours of sleep. And your boy Kyle, Chef, whatever you want to, I love my sleep, and I love my sleep. And I'm cruising to work.
Sleep too.
And
I don't. I'll wake up and get up and find a reason to stay up.
I
But
can sleep for like 12 hours every day, 15
I'm fucking
hours.
crazy, man.
You're a good man, though. You're a good man, and I respect that, dude. I respect that. I really do. And you're good. I do, because I do. I can go on and on about why I respect you.
I can sleep forever.
Sorry,
I
guys.
mean, I can sleep
I will
all
one
day,
day.
but
Whatever.
I'm cruising to work, and I'm in San Diego. I'm off the freeway, and I'm tired as fuck. And I'm going up. It's weird. I know it doesn't seem like it, but like in San Diego, I don't know if you've been there, but like there are.
One of my best friends at work actually like lived there for a while.
Really? Okay. I don't know. I don't remember the street that I was on, so I don't know if this person would be able to relate, but
Josh.
I ended up falling asleep while I'm driving. My foot was off the pedal, obviously, and I just bumped an old lady. Bumped. Like literally bumped. She didn't even want my insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, so that happened. And then after that, about a month later, I'm driving home on the freeway on my way home, and I fell asleep. And I'm completely asleep. And I get I'm out. I'm driving, but I'm completely out. And I get a phone call from my mom, and she's like, "Hey, where you at?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I looked up at the nearest like sign up on the freeway, and she's like, "Dude, you're like 30 minutes past your exit." And I'm sleeping. I am sleeping. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Okay.
Oh.
After that, this is when shit hits the fan, and this is where you're probably gonna be able to relate. I'm on my way home, so that happened, right? Whatever. Went and got my drugs, did my shit. It is what it is. After that, I'm on the freeway. This one day, I'm in Southern California with the sun blasting, middle of fucking summer. I didn't have glasses. I forgot my glasses at home. So I didn't have tint on my windshield. So I'm getting blasted by the sun. And I fell asleep. And I'm literally, this is the creepiest part. I am driving a fucking vehicle while completely sleeping. I'm going through turns. I'm out cold. I'm out. And I remember waking up, and I look over, and I'm on the border of Mexico, by the way. And I look over, and there's a big green van, and it's packed with Mexicans. Packed.
You were here for a reason, brother.
Packed with Mexicans. and I look at them. I look over. It's a fucking full van, dude. I'm not trying to be an asshole. We know the condescending shit you can say. So anyhow, I'm cruising down. I look, I see, I panic. I fucking turn my wheel to the right, which is towards the vehicle. Turn the wheel to the left, and the median is to my left. So I'm in, I don't know, I guess it'd be the number 1 lane, and I have the K rail.
Yeah.
So I go right, left. Now I'm starting to like wake up, right, left again. I hit the K rail. My fucking little Mazda. What I have? I had a Chevy Impala.
Oh God, dude!
And I smacked the K rail, dude. My shit flips in the air while I am midair. I'm not bullshitting you. This is the day that I believed in God. This is like the most, in my opinion, one of the most important times of my life. I believed in God in that moment. It was
in that moment.
It was fucking crazy. But I felt an energy around me. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Olivia and Jules, when you were telling your story about that accident, I'm like, oh, dude, I have to say this tonight. I have to say this. But I felt this bubble around me. I can't explain it. If you remember, we're similar age range, but when I got my first iPod Touch, not iPhone, iPod Touch. When you pick a song, you can hit song, you can hit album. When you hit album, what it does is it pulls up a picture of the album, and you can swipe it. And when you swipe it, depending on how hard you swipe it, it's albums that just roll through. My entire life, just like you hear in movies, just like all that, it was photos of my entire fucking life.
Wait, seriously? What did it feel? Okay, so elaborate on that, because that's something I've been intrigued by near-death experiences, because I've been intrigued by death since a young age. I'm not a sociopath, only because I wanted to know what would happen when I didn't exist in my physical form anymore. So, like, can you elaborate on that? Can you articulate that? I've read Dr. Raymond Moody's book, which the show, the OA, that we've talked about at times tonight, they did a lot of research on his research. It was in the 1970s on near-death experiences. He was kind of the first doctor, psychologist that really did extensive research on near-death experiences. Did it feel as if time was no longer linear in those moments?
Yes, in a way, yes.
Time it was like thing that exists always and forever.
There's crazy things that happened because of that, in the sense of like my injuries, what my injuries were, which were non-existent, and I landed on the opposite side of the freeway, so I'm now upside down. My car's upside down. Had I had a passenger, my passenger's dead. Passenger's dead. No matter what, dead. Well, I can't say no matter what.
If you had a passenger.
If I had, they would be severely fucked up. If not dead. But no, everything stopped, dude. It was literally like a scene in the Matrix or any type of movie where everything goes in slow-mo and they just go slow-mo. That's what it was.
Sorry.
And it was...
Sorry, I just mixed this up. I didn't mean to do that.
There's 27 people watching. Y'all all get free Greypilled shirts. Now it's fucked up again. Do you see this shit?
You get free Greypilled shirts.
Baby. Okay, look. Now it's fixed. It's fixed.
Yeah, it looks good on my end. I see both of you wonderful.
But can I do like a mirror thing?
See? Hey, do y'all want to watch the Greypilled?
No. Kyle's not done talking. Stop. Finish. But
yeah, go ahead and finish up what you had to say, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You guys are good. Hey, I'm loving this. You guys are beautiful people, man. You guys are seriously.
Around,
I know you are, and I appreciate that.
I had for you, Kyle. So, was your experience something like what most people say is that it's like time is no longer like linear, like a line of which we like experience in this realm, in this physical form, right? It's like time is everything everywhere all at once, which is why they named the movie that, right?
For me, I can only speak on my behalf, and I've heard a lot of badass NDEs experiences, a lot of near death experiences, but that are more in depth. All that I know is yes, time at least stopped. That's what I do know. I think I was 20 years old when this happened. Yeah, I was 20 because when I was 21, I was locked up. But yeah, on my 19th birthday, I think I overdosed. 19th birthday, I overdosed on Vicodin. 21st, I was in jail, and then from jail, I went to the brig. So that just shows you how my Navy career went. I got in some trouble. I said, "Fuck the Navy, I'm not going in no more. I'm staying at home. Fuck you." And I had the federal marshals decided to come and wanted to pay me a visit. But no, man, you're good. While I was floating, while I was in the air, I was floating upside down. It just timed.
Was it an out of body experience?
Oh, I think, yeah, I guess, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, do you remember seeing yourself from above? Like, that's a common occurrence.
No, I wish I could say I did. No, it was just, I mean, I guess it was like a third person. So I guess, yes. But I remember hitting.
Like an out of body experience then.
Yeah, I remember hitting it and then flipping. And I'm in the air and it's flipping. And now we're moving on to the oncoming traffic. And I remember being upside down. Just only upside down, even though I was flipping.
And it was slow motion, right?
It was super slow motion.
That was like our racket slow motion.
Yes, and it was my entire life.
That didn't happen to me, though. That's wow.
But I don't remember any of those like photos that I saw. All I know is in that time, and one other thing that I have to say is that when I was in the air, only thing that I had that I was thinking of is you fucked up, and that's it. You fucked up.
What I thought to myself when I woke up in the hospital.
Yeah, and it's like that's it, dude. Like you fucked up. But
you don't remember anything until in the hospital.
Not to take away Jules from.
I remember the black lady on the phone. I remember coming to it, and the car was on fire. I'm supposed to be here to raise
just
my
like
children.
You're supposed to be here, Kyle. That's why you.
Yeah,
yep.
Man.
We're spiritually bonded, brother. I'm telling you, dude. That's
a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, no, for real.
Weird. I say weird, and weird is like what's
weird's
weird?
Good.
Like, yeah, exactly. But like, that person down the street's fucking weird. Look at them, they're weird. Like I seen some chick today walk out of I was going to the liquor store. And she had like kind of tanner skin.
Was it actually a chick though?
It could have been an NPC, but her face was fucking pale. Like she put.
No, she may be talking about a tranny.
I don't know.
I was trying to make a joke.
No. I heard. I get that. I get the joke. But it was just like I was telling my fiance. I was like, "Baby, can you?" I was telling my fiance. I'm like. I usually don't. I try not to. I try not to judge people. I'm like,
yeah, same.
This chick, like, her skin was a little bit darker. It doesn't matter your skin color, but her face was like powder white. And I'm like, your makeup, your makeup here is not. And I don't give a fuck. But she's like 6. She's probably. I don't fucking know. But anyhow, yeah, it was a wild experience, dude. It was a wild experience. I landed upside down on oncoming traffic. The person who stopped first was an ex-Navy medic. Weird.
Wow. While you were in the Navy, right?
I was in the Navy. I was in my uniform, so I had my boots on. So
that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, no, dude.
So weird, dude. And I unbuckle myself and I fall onto my steering wheel, which was the airbag, and the airbag was super hot. And I was able to pull. I had boots on. They weren't the cool, like, looking army boots. They're all black. They looked a little gay, just saying. And I kicked out my front windshield, and I stumbled out. When I say stumbled out, it wasn't like, oh, God, I'm fucked up. I'm injured. No, I literally I can probably do better right now. But, like, if that made a scratch, that's all. I had a scratch, just a little scratch with a cat scratch. That was it.
Damn.
I was tore up too, man. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I was not.
It was
tore up.
not.
Oh, you were.
It was like a cat. It was like when a
I
cat
could have been a
scratches
lot
you.
more messed up
Jules
than I
had to have
was.
all kinds of stitches.
It could have been so much worse. It was like when you get a scratch and you don't get a line of blood, you just get dots, little tiny dots. That was it. And then a CHP pulled up. I called my mom. My mom, of course, is fucking losing.
You were able to call your mom and stuff?
Oh, I was able to do anything I wanted to do.
Her?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember calling her. I said, "Mom," I broke it to her softly.
Is that your baby back there?
Yeah, come here, Ellie.
So sweet.
Here, actually, Amberlyn, come over here too.
So sweet.
Come, you can come say it. Come here.
Kids are allowed on the stream as long as
Children
they have the parents'
are God's
consent.
gift to humanity.
Yeah, I do post them on my stuff all the time.
Hi. This is your older daughter in the background.
This is my 9-year-old. Yes, Amberlyn.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I couldn't see the. We have a light behind the laptop that is extremely bright.
I get
so
you.
I can't see the screen very well.
No explanation.
So that's your older daughter. And I wear glasses and my contacts. If anyone has noticed that I keep doing this, it's because my contacts are very dry at the end of the day. I need to put on my nerdy glasses because I'm a nerd.
Olivia, I promise you are good. But
and your 9-year-old daughter looked like she was maybe like, I don't know, 18.
Yeah, I'm
your
I'm
children
sure.
are beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a thing. They said that you're beautiful, Nugget.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us because that's wild.
But yeah, it was wild, and it reminded me of what you guys were talking about, man. That's
well, it's just crazy that you guys have connected through all of this podcasting stuff.
I'm telling you, Jules, you don't I don't think Jules completely understands. He doesn't understand what he's got himself. Maybe you do, but we're.
Yeah, you guys are vibrating on the same level in a lot of ways. This isn't a coincidence.
No, not at all. And we both been through very similar struggles. Mine's not any greater than yours. But I want to do
suffering is suffering.
I want to do. I've been talking about doing a show, and since it's June and it's all about fucking Pride Month, and fuck that. I'm not into that Pride Month bullshit.
My brother,
you can have a day.
Even he will tell you, fuck that. That's why he won't go back to America. He feels like they're trying to convert, children.
Well, they are. It's Groomers Awareness Month, but we need to link up.
Very aware of it.
Yeah,
I know it's a very conservative gay person.
I'm going to play this Greypilled edit, guys, and then we're going to put our plugs in and get out of here, man. All right, because it's almost 1 a.m. here.
You're good, dude. You're good. I'm in no rush.
She wants to stay on for a little longer. He has to go, so we're going. This is her first time to stream, guys. So thank y'all for watching. It means a lot. Wish y'all would have been up in the comments, though, saying some crazy shit. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm not going to get offended by anything. Trust me. So, yeah, let's watch this Greypilled edit that I edited. It's basically like a little supercut. Is what I call it. I do the same thing with Schizo News Network. Thomas, the Paranoid American, he made the beat, and so I just put some of my content behind it and do what I do. Okay.
As you go to play this, I'm going to be hollering at you for help on such edits.
I'm good with that, man. Just send me if you can clip what you need for the edit, send it to me, and I'll put it together for you and do it. It'll take me 30 minutes.
That's fucking weird, bro.
Podcast.
I'm slightly autistic. I mean, I'm fucking awkward. I know I'm not the brightest bulb in the shed. I'm finding you a good one, fellas, because they're all getting either taken away by other men or taken away by Samael. They called Demiurge Joe etheric mermaids in your semen. I don't know how I feel about that. Marduk is the scapegoat. Azazel means the scapegoat.
Wow.
Get the E from the beginning of his name and the L at the end. Put that together. And if you're Saturn deity right there, guys.
Everyone knows about the reptilians and their cavern systems underground that lead to Hollow Earth. And we can talk about that when Mr. Hall talks about
Matt Rife,
the
everybody.
teachings of
Paracelsus and his many views on the elementals, and I find that fascinating. Create a Patreon with anyone fucking like 99 cents a month. I don't know. Maybe I'll go live if not. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care what people think. So I like it.
You're killing it, Jules, bro.
There's some people that are kind of mad, man.
Okay, well, we're going to take you back out.
Red and black, and that's alchemical. In Freemasonry and in all esoteric mystery schools, the eagle is usually a representation of the original phoenix.
Just blew my own mind.
Greypilleds dropping left and right, man.
3-6 Mafia is the sipping on the scissor, right? They were bringing the hydrocodone
On
And
the
you know what-
hands-free phone.
on the hands-free foam, yeah.
It's the Greypilled Podcast, dropping jewels for Jews on the Greypilled Podcast. Time to school all these fools on the Greypilled Podcast.
Welcome to the Greypilled Podcast.
Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that, man.
That was great. And
Did you like
Olivia,
that?
I know I didn't like that at all. I loved it. Yeah. Oh,
Y'all go check that out. Go repost it and like it, man.
Hey, thank you, Kyle,
for your
sharing,
attention.
we're not done. We're not done, folks.
Oh, cool.
I
don't want him
genuinely
done.
No,
do.
we're-
He was
No.
saying that, so,
She
let's
no.
continue.
He's saying. See, she does this now.
What do I do?
You respond to sentences before they're finished.
I love you. I'm sweet.
You
Tell
are
them I'm
sweet.
I'm
No,
a
you're
sexy wife.
amazing. The best wife.
I'm a sweet,
You're
sweet
beautiful.
wife,
This is
and
gay as fuck.
you're
What we're doing right now.
not. Anybody that says that
We've been.
they're jealous.
See, it'd be different if we were married for like 2 years. When we were still just like, oh, we love each other. She just wants to
But
fuck
we
me right now.
actually do. I do. want to do that. But
Hey,
first, I want to keep doing this. Okay, so
We're parents and we're like, good people, but we're still degenerate
I loved having
in a way.
degenerate. I'm loving this. I'm loving that we're
The
talking to
people
you.
that are watching are loving this.
And I loved talking to Isaac. There's a reason that there are verses in the Bible about that. If I were to give like a brief synopsis of like what I think the Bible is, I think it's that humanity, quickly, I think it's that humanity has evolved through these cycles over and over again. The Bible has very simple ways of stating. It's very complex, but there's like simple verses that now we are learning through science, have
We're getting
significance.
deeper meaning,
Right? So it's
these
almost
simple
as if
verses.
humanity
These
as a
occulted meanings.
species, as if we have all nearly been wiped out many times in the past, but our species has continued to exist. And for whatever reason, the particularly righteous ones their lives were spared, right? Noah and whatever else. You get into all of that. But
They were chosen.
Well, right. And they chose to not be
They chose not to
such
commit sodomy.
degenerates like you talked about. Yeah, exactly. My sin is that I'm vain because I work in the beauty industry. So young girls that I talk to that are like, oh, I want to be a makeup artist and a hairstylist. I'm like, cool, don't do it. Don't.
No.
Because it'll fuck up your brain. And I mean, that's still how I make a living. Mostly
I know
I work
that's
in a
right.
men's barber shop. And I just cut men's hair because it's like fucking easy. And men are just so fucking easy. It's just easy to cut their hair because they're simple. It's just, they're easy to read. They'll just be like, all right, I just want this and this and this. Or here's a picture.
The
And they
ones
just
that
keep coming
hit on
back.
her don't come back because she doesn't reciprocate.
Yeah,
So,
it pisses them off.
If she did, there'd be a lot of unhappy people.
I mean,
You got a winner, bro. And you guys, dude, I'm telling
11 years,
you.
dude. Like I said,
Listen,
I love
We're
what
about
I
to go
was
do
saying about your friend
unspoken of
Isaac.
things in the bedroom.
What
So
I was saying about your friend Isaac is I thought it was a beautiful thing that he was saying how
all right,
he and his wife got married so young.
it is. No, it's great.
And it's
Chef,
the way to go.
Chef,
Regardless
what
of
plugs do you got to put
current
in, man? Do you have
society tells
anything
you.
that you had dropped this week, or do you have anything coming up that you want to promote?
Yeah, dude, I've been slacking balls, dude. I have a few episodes I gotta post. But yeah, you can find me over at on Instagram at, and forgive me before I say this because I made this fucking Instagram way too long. It's at Sunday Night Secret Society Pod. You can find me over at the Cave 2, the K4V3 podcast. There's a bunch of gentlemen over there. We do Bible study. We talk about, I say we, but I do the sports segments, but I only do like NFL and UFC. I don't miss a UFC event. I watch UFC every fucking Saturday. If it's a big UFC fan, I'm
like before something comes on, send it to us sometime. And
I will. I got you. Well, we're not done.
We'll
We're
totally watch some men, fuck each other up. Sure.
Hey,
What plugs do you
His
want to
baby.
throw in there?
I don't want to plug anything.
Sweetie.
I don't use social media very much.
Honey.
My Twitter, now X. I made one of those. You guys can. I legitimately. I don't care. I look like a fucking OnlyFans model or what the fuck ever people say to me. But I don't use social media very much.
Okay.
But
No one said you look
do-
like an OnlyFans model.
no,
That-
you're a beautiful person, and Jules is a beautiful person.
No,
And
this is what she's gotten here.
Look, people say shit to me, and
where we
people
live,
tell me like
I guess.
oh, you don't want to like do anything on the internet
sticks
or
up
with
for
your
herself,
husband's
though. She pisses
podcast
people
because
off.
people are really mean to women.
you have Olivia. You are brilliant. You are bright. Seriously, I'm not bullshitting. You are smart. The things that you bring up,
I'm gonna suck your dick.
you
I
don't
know.
hear from most people. You're
Thank you.
thinking, and that is most important.
I'm
And you have
probably
he
is,
knows
but it's fine.
you have a wonderful husband who is now my brother officially. I call
absolutely.
that shit. And I now have a sister, and that is you, Olivia. And
Yeah.
I really do thank you guys because I'm telling you, we're not
Yeah,
done.
thank you for coming
And-
on. Lady
It's all
__
fucked up.
Mystique is MYSTIQUE. That's my ex. I might use it more in the future.
Yeah,
I
y'all
have
can
some
follow
big-
her on X.
I have some big statements to make in the near future.
She'll be on Greypilled.
And I appreciate you both, and I love you both, and you guys
Well,
are
we love you.
You're
We
even
absolutely
back
love
soon,
you.
man.
You definitely
guys,
will. We'll
so-
do this again soon.
Y'all go follow them. Go watch Chef's podcast.
Go follow me on Twitter
Sunday
and
Night
see how
Secret
much
Society.
I don't post.
I got you.
You can go follow me on
I'm on Instagram too.
All right, I'm talking now.
Sorry.
You can follow me on Instagram at Greypilled _podcast, Twitter Greypilled Pod, YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble Greypilled Podcast. Also on Bitchute at Greypilled. Dropping in Elohim Etymology this weekend, episode 5, Inky Part 3. It's good shit. It's about 2 hours long, and
Listen to all of it.
okay. If you're into fallen angels and the Anunnaki and all that fun stuff, I mean, we really, and we're doing another one tomorrow. Me and Adrian are
They're
doing
the only ones. Sorry, but it's
another
true.
one in the morning. And that's going to be awesome. Hopefully, we're going to be going live soon. He's kind of shy, so but he's down to go live soon. I think after we finish up on Inky, we'll start going live every Saturday morning. Around noon is usually when it happens. So, yeah, y'all look out for that dropping this weekend. This next week, me and Thomas are doing a sound science on Tuesday with True Seeker, and we're doing a couple other streams together. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff. Y'all tune in to Schizo News Network tomorrow night and every Saturday night. So y'all go to paranoidamerican.com and cop some cool shit. He's got a whole bunch of stuff like for the whole family, literally. He's got toys on there. He's got Legos. He's got coloring books. He's got shirts. He's got everything. Comics. The best
pamphlets, booklets, homunculus.
Yeah. He's about to come out with tons of more pamphlets too, and dog tags, just a bunch of cool shit, man. No one's doing it like Thomas in the conspiracy community right now. So y'all go to paranoidamerican.com and fuck with our boy. Also, oddfellowsbrand.com. Support my boy Cody. And again, y'all go to OREGON-ITE.com. That's OREGON-ITE.com. Support Isaac. He is doing a lot of good right now, especially in this community. He's been going on a bunch of podcasts lately, man. Like Cherie was saying earlier, he was on with Slick Dissident, and thank y'all for watching, man. Seriously, like it means so much to me. Y'all have no idea. Like it makes a total difference in a lot of things.
Thank y'all for not posting mean comments about it.
No one's gonna be mean to you, and please
don't happen.
Mean to women on social media.
All right. I don't think as much as you think. I'm sorry. I don't know what you've been watching.
Well, you guys are fucking great. You guys are amazing. Both.
Thank you.
Both. I'm being honest. Like, if you hear me on other shows, like I'm honest. And if I smell some bullshit, I'm gonna call the bullshit out. Hey, all I know is that I gained a brother and a sister tonight. You guys are a power couple, man, and I wish you guys nothing but the absolute best.
I wish you nothing but
seriously,
brother.
Y'all will talk to each other soon. It's not like you're never gonna see each other again.
Oh no, I already told you.
Jules, your sentimental thing when we connect with the.
Well, this episode was about OREGON-ITE, so I and Isaac. Y'all go get his beautiful handiwork.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing, and it's
really, really powerful.
It is.
I played with it the other day, not even knowing what I was doing.
Frequencies from it.
I was
Chef
super
had some
sick,
in his hand,
and I felt like it was actually pulling the sickness out of me, and I didn't know that. And I didn't know that the bottom of this is what the top was where the positive, like that it regenerates the energy and whatever. Anyways, I found it interesting because that was kind of what I was experiencing with it, as if it was cleansing.
Well, we're gonna buy more
part of me while I was sick. I was very sick with bronchitis.
Y'all go to Amazon.com, buy Pantheon 1, the Golden Veins. My brother Adrian Westbrook, Mark Steves had him on his podcast back in September, October. I heard it. I messaged him and I was like, hey, I plan on starting a podcast. So he was my first episode for Greypilled, and now we do a series together, and he's one of my best friends. So yeah, y'all go and follow him. Adrian West HQ, I believe. And yeah, thank y'all for tuning in again on a Friday night. There's 38 people watching. I mean it when I say it. I will send y'all Greypilled shirts. Just let me know who you are. If there's been some people watching every stream that I do, and I really appreciate it. Well, it's late. We're about to get out of here. Chef, is there anything else that you wanted to say, brother?
No, man. No, other than thank you guys again.
Oh, y'all go to thecave.com. And that
V4V3, shout out to the Sunday Night Secret Society.
Shout out Danny and the Secret Society of Good Guys. Y'all go check them out when we get off. They're probably still on right now with Thomas and Gordy and probably a couple more people. Yeah, you showed me
a couple of them and they were awesome.
They're awesome, man.
Because for me, like females, a lot of times, unfortunately, in our modern day and age, it's very hard for me to connect with.
But like, being that Jules and I we're in this realm, and you also are in this same game, right? We're all in the same game, whatever you want to call it. But like, you got like Thomas from Paranoid American, you got fucking the Cult of Conspiracy, you have Sam Tripoli, you have fucking Howard Jones, you have all these fucking people that have been doing it for so long, and it's like, damn, dude, the bar is set high. But I say fuck that bar, and we're gonna set our own bar. Because
do
your own thing. Yeah, man.
I can do a show on 9/11, and Jules can do a show on 9/11, and someone can listen to my show and be like, "Oh, that was pretty cool."
I'm going to do a show on 9/11 too, even though it's been done 1,000 times.
And we can all
doesn't
my perspective on it. Yeah,
doesn't matter. They can listen to my show and be like, "Oh, that was great. Good job, chef." And they can listen to Jules' show and be like, "Dude, that was fucking awesome. That's what I needed to hear." So, fuck all the haters. Fuck all the naysayers. We're here. We're not going nowhere. We're here to do it. That's what we do. And I love you both. I do got to dip out. I hope you guys have a fucking blessed night. And I thank you so much for having me on your platform.
Thank you for coming, Chef. We'll see
all right. You guys have a blessed night, man. Stay fly. Be kind. Hasta la pasta.
Bye.
All right, man.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, they're up way too late, but it is what it is. Friday night.
It is what it is.
Homeschool life. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Hasta la pasta. All
right, brother. Later.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Y'all stay Greypilled, and we will see you on the other side.
Maybe you'll see me again.
Welcome to Paranoid Pages, your portal to the thought-provoking world of underground comics out of print magazines and other rare media. We'll discover hidden gems up close and in detail to capture the magic of pictures and words combined. So, gather around, friends. This is Paranoid Pages.
Gather round, all you mystery seekers. We're diving deep into the dark, exploring realms beyond what's known, where the secrets of the shadows leave their mark. Come take a ride on the Greypilled Express, where esoteric knowledge is our guest. From conspiracies to cryptids, we unveil the veil, mysticism and the occult, our forbidden tale. Join us on this